Mabuhay, Kamusika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. While marrying a Filipina can be a wonderful experience in so many ways, there is one angle to it that can be frustrating, maddening, and make you feel helpless. I want to talk today about that. Subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea, where I am here to help with foreign or Filipina relationships. Get notifications for upcoming videos by tapping the bell, and I would like to hear from viewers about their experiences when they are unable to be with their Filipina, and even worse, cannot communicate with her. By far, for myself, the worst part of being married to a Filipina is the vast distance between us, since we are now in America and her family is in the Philippines. I checked the first flight itinerary I had, and it showed 9,800 flight miles between us. That's 4 flights and a day and a half in between, but it seems like more than that. My wife arrived here in January of 2016, and we've been married since May of 2015. This video could also be called When You Can't Be There to Help Your Filipina in a Crisis. One thing, you can't embrace her. One thing you'll need to come to grips with is the possibility of your wife needing to return to the Philippines without you. I have done that a couple of times and hated every minute of it. If there is something bothering my wife, I know when she's here that I will be able to comfort her, to hold her, but when she is so far away, that isn't going to happen. Embracing her is good for me too. If a family member has taken very ill and she needs to be with them, you want so much to console her and monitor how she is reacting to everything, but that's harder to do when so far away. I guess you could try calling her, but those communication issues. When the internet connection is bad in the Philippines, it's very bad. You might be chatting with her, and all of a sudden the connection gets bad, often getting dropped, but then trying to be reestablished. If the discussion is intense, then it becomes very frustrating. If it is very heavy usage time of day, it could be a real stop and go experience. There is another element that can interfere with communication, that being the time zone. Your daily activities aren't exactly synced up anymore when she goes so far away. This can make it difficult to keep up with what's going on. And then there's things to do. If your Filipino wife is there to tend to some serious business, she is going to have her hands full. It is great if you can allow her to return home for an emergency. I know some guys can handle this better than others, and if they can afford it, or their wife works after immigration, then the finances might not be a roadblock. Personally, I allow it because we can afford it, but I would never in a million years suggest to her that she should go and see her family and leave me here. I need my little woman. When she is scrambling around trying to get many things done, she may also not be as available as you'd like her to be. We also need to keep in mind that things move slower in the Philippines. It takes longer to get things done depending on what it is. Going to the doctor is slower, as I am not sure they even take appointments. You just show up, sit, wait your turn. Might have to wait, or to leave to go somewhere else for tests, check in for that, return to the clinic, wait your turn to learn how the test turned out. Depending on where she is, the internet connection will vary. If her husband is working, he won't have a lot of spare time to keep up with what's going on with her in the Philippines. Now, hitting close to home and a recent event rocked my world. What gave me the idea for this video was the October 29th, 2019 earthquake in Mindanao. My wife had already just arrived for a medical crisis and experienced an earthquake while at the hospital with her family. Now, a week or so later, she feels it 5 times and is wanted to evacuate before it was chaos in the streets. And some people, did. Well, I might want to play a play-by-play description of everything that is taking place. That isn't realistic. I never know if she will be on a scooter and the streets open up, or if she is sleeping at home and the ceiling collapses on her, or if a loved one will be injured, and that personally is exasperating. As it is here in the States, I pray for her regularly when she is driving, and having been in the Philippines several times, I realize the driving there is less controlled, regulated, and safe, although I admit I haven't seen any accidents. Time to herself. The last thing I will mention is that with a lot going on in the Philippines to deal with, that she wasn't expecting to be involved with, if she is getting physically and emotionally run down, she may need some time to herself, which means I need to give her that space. While all this isn't particularly a relationship issue, it certainly can impact it. I'd like to hear from you guys about how you deal with, your wife or fiance, needing to be away or being away from you, and you can't really communicate with her, and be honest with me. I didn't wait many years to find a wife and then have to give her up for a while. If something big is happening, I want to be there with her, but that isn't always possible. I am not shy to say that I often do not handle this well, and I get impatient, and sometimes I explode. Then I have created more problems for myself, adding to my misery. I get very sullen and frustrated at times like this, and it's easy to let my mind drift and think, well, this wouldn't happen if I had married someone from here. While that might be true, I was not able to marry someone from here, and I am glad I went overseas to look for a wife. Amidst the cultural and age gap differences, there are some logistics of her family being so far away that she needed to be ready for. Until recently, I just figured we'd be together, and if we couldn't be, then I'd also always know what's going on by staying in touch, but it just isn't that simple. I need to remind myself these are not everyday occurrences. In any relationship, there will be things popping up to deal with, like health issues and safety issues, emergencies, and sometimes you're so far away you feel deprived, not getting to keep up with it. At least I do. And this is all part of a very long distance relationship, but you have to take the good with the bad when you find love beyond the sea.